see on the graphic on this slide on the right, there are several steps involved when making a decision regarding the traffic calming. So our standardized process is attempt to ensure that our decisions are applied consistently and while still being able to tailor to the unique needs of the community or neighborhoods. And decisions are evidence-based and data-driven and transparent to the public. And finally, the decision be effective while staying efficient and cost-effective. Next slide, please. In terms of our current process, residents can request a traffic calming by completing our neighborhood petition form, which is our in-town website, and email to our traffic calming at caledon.ca. Once received, the staff will conduct a screening, data collection, and warrant analysis. And if warranted, they will then develop a traffic calming plan and communicate back to the residents, and improvements are then prioritized and planned for implementation through our capital budget process. And so as I want to make a note over here that for broader traffic calming measures such as speed humps, there are requirements for 66% of affected residents agreed on that plan prior to the implementation. Next slide, please. Now that you have seen overall process, let's look at each step in more detail. The step one is to request a kind of initiation request stage, which shows how the traffic calming request gets started. The request can come from many ways, like including residents through a petition, a member of council through a motion, or a town staff who can identify the potential problems in the area through a proactive reviews. Once received, traffic team record and acknowledge all the requests. At this point, all the requests move over to the screening stage for equal consideration. Again, as mentioned in my previous slide, the request can be made through our traffic calming, completing the neighborhood petition form through which is in our town website, and then email us to trafficcalming@caledon.ca. Next slide, please. So moving on to step two, in this step, staff review and analyze the data. Staff look at the speed, traffic volume, roadway condition, and the collision history. This ensures resources are focused on the location with demonstrated safety concerns. Then staff determine if the location meets the criteria for traffic calming. If not, then it meets the criteria, then there are other tools that can be implemented like enforcement, or it can be stay on monitoring for the staff for the future implementation as appropriate. Only eligible location proceed to the next stage. Next slide, please. Once the location meets the criteria for the traffic calming, then we move forward to selecting the traffic calming measure. The selection of the measure is based on the considering site consideration, feasibility, road conditions, classification, and the traffic calming toolbox, as well as factors such as speeding, collision, cut-through traffic, and the pedestrian activities. The proposed approach is circulated to our partner or stakeholder in the fire and the operation for their input, and the feedback is considered before finalizations. A traffic calming plan then planned for implementation through our capital budget process. Next slide, please. Yeah, finally, in this step, staff complete the detailed design and proceed for the installation. After the traffic measure has been installed, then staff monitor and evaluate the effectiveness, which includes staff complete the review to see how the measures are performing. Staff look at the speed reduction, traffic volume, collision trends, and the feedback from the community. Staff also compare the before and after condition to assess the results where needed. And staff propose the modification to if there are ineffective measure was installed or if there is modification is needed. Next slide, please. So in this, in terms of our toolbox, which includes, we have many variety of treatments that can help to create improved compliance and safer operation of the streets. These include kind of physical traffic calming measure, such as speed humps, centerline bollard, gateway features, rumble strips, bumps out, and just to name the few. There is also enhanced intersection control treatments, such as traffic signals, always stop signs, protector left turns, advanced warning treatments, as well as the enhanced signage and payment markings, such as high visibility crossing, message related to payment markings, radar speed message boards, and the specialized signs. I want to make a note here that not all treatments are suitable for all the locations, but number of these treatments has been implemented throughout our town and validate the effectiveness. Next slide, please. You will see a couple of slides next, which highlights our 2025 achievement or implementation that we have done. So there are a number of initiative and measure work completed in 2025. These included the installation of 8 permanent speed humps and 26 speed humps, which was supported by signage payment markings treatment at various locations across the municipality. We also operated a number of automated speed enforcement cameras throughout the year until the program was canceled and terminated by the province in November 2025. And we also piloted a number of flex bollard treatments and as well as the slow down signs, silhouette signs across the town. These efforts led to speed reduction up to 25% on town boards where treatment were implemented and reduced the overall neighborhood traffic cut through in our neighborhoods. Next slide, please. In addition, we operated over 30 speed radar message board and implemented a variety of enhanced signage treatment at various locations across the town and added 2 new crossing guards locations, which helped improve compliance with speed, stopping, and other regulation across the town. Next slide, please. We also added 2 new traffic signals in the town and received approvals from the council to implement the framework for red light camera program in the town. Beyond these measures, staff also conducted a public outreach education through our 8 community safety meetings, as well as our coffee with council events. Also continue with the collaboration with our regional and provincial partners, such as well as the OPP. Next slide, please. This slide provides a general idea of where treatments were focused on in 2025 and also demonstrate our staff's effort to deal with the traffic safety issues across the town. So you can see from this the image on the slide, we have kind of worked on implement the many measures across all over kind of Canada in every ward. Next slide, please. So moving on 2026, this year, there are a number of priorities planned for our work program that staff is working on it. And these includes, but not limited to, converting temporary speed hump location to the permanent, installing new temporary speed humps at priority locations that were identified last year, implementing other planned traffic calming measures across the town, including 2 new traffic signals at the Humber Station and Healy Road, as well as 1 at the Lance Bridge and Queens Gate. We also improving and standardized on-road signage at the railway crossing along the Caledon Trail. We are also conducting a town-wide rural road safety audit to help confirm the future improvements and finalize. We will be finalizing our town framework for the red light camera program. In addition, we are also preparing for the transition for the regional road as well as any associate program that need to be taken. Okay. In this next slide, please. Okay, here is the how you can contact us at Town of Caledon Traffic Team. You can contact us traffic calming at caledon.ca, municipal law enforcement at enforcement@caledon.ca. You can reach out to region of Peel for the regional road, traffic inquiry at peelregion.ca, and Ontario Provincial Province has this number. We can put this information in the chat so everyone has the availability to look at this information and save it. And that brings, next slide, please. Yeah, and that brings me to the end of the presentation. And thank you again for your time and having me here. Then we can open.
Yeah, and then Amanda, David has put in some questions in the chat. The first question being, how long does it take after the petition has been sent to the clerk's office?
So you want to read out the question?
Yeah, you may want to read. There's 3 questions in the everyone chat.
Thank you, everyone. We'll be reading out the questions and providing some answers. The first question is from?
Yep, the first question is from Amanda David, and it says, how long does it take after the petition has been sent to the clerks?
No, you can speak.
Okay. Maybe I'll try to answer this. Start off. So I guess when the petition is received, it should generally be forwarded to the traffic safety team. They'll take that, they'll acknowledge receipt of that, and it really the time it takes to process and develop and come up with a solution depends on how complex the problem is. So there's no real definitive timeline. If it's something fairly straightforward, they'll be able to run a warrant, assess it, and reply back. In terms of the implementation part of it, the goal is to basically identify through those petitions works that need to be done and then plan for them through the capital planning process to be implemented as part of the program for the following year. So in essence, you could receive a petition in 1 year and we're aiming to have those, if they're warranted, to have those treatments implemented the following year through our capital plan.
Okay, the second question is that the land is not yet town owned, what can be done?
So what's the question?
If the land is not yet town owned, what can be done?
Land is not yet town owned.
Yeah, so it's not the town's assumed by the town yet. What can be done in terms of maybe traffic calming measures?
We can unmute someone.
So I think, you know, I'll try to tackle that and happy to have my team jump in. So I guess there's 2 facets to that. If it's private property, there's actually not much the town can do. Town's responsible for municipal lands, municipal right-of-ways and roads. If it's a road that's currently under construction, where the road has not been assumed, typically there's very little we can do. We can try to work with the developer to try to implement some treatments. But there are implications with respect to warranties or unfinished roads where we can't really do any permanent treatments. There may be opportunities to consider some temporary treatments, but again, that's going to really be subject to the agreements and the contracts with our development partners to make sure that it doesn't void any sort of warranty obligations that they have.
Okay, so the third question is, how soon can signage be available, specifically if it is currently a 2-way stop, to make it a 4-way stop?
If it's warranted or there's been council direction, if I'm sort of alluding to where this question is potentially coming from, the work order, once we have council direction or approval, the work order will go in and it will be subject to whether locates are required and the availability of that signage. So we're at the whim of the contractor, but typically it should not take that long, shortly after. Average, I would say, Gurpreet, you're probably.
I would say average 6 to 8 weeks.
And if it's the particular case that I'm thinking about to convert that intersection, it's more than just adding the signs. They'll be required. We'll have to do pavement marking treatments as well.
Yes.
So we'll have to have our pavement marking contractor available to go out there and make those edits along with our signage contract.
I guess it all depends on the complexity of the site, but if it is just a signage conversion, There's no other work required than 6 to 8, but of course, it be longer if there is a complexity that we just mentioned.
Okay, so the next question is from Amanda Corbett. If residents want to suggest some traffic calming measures for their community, what is the most effective way to ask for them? Is it worth having a conversation with the town staff prior to going the petition route?
I can certainly try to tackle this one as well. Yeah, certainly I would encourage that they reach out to trafficcalming@caledon.ca with the request. Depending on the type of request or suggestions, staff would respond and advise if we can sort of look at that, maybe accommodate it, or whether if it's for broader or more complex improvements, whether we need to go down a traffic petition route. In particular, where there's significant changes to the road geometry, where that might impact other residents, that's where a petition is particularly needed, because not everybody tends to agree with the traffic measures being implemented. We want to make sure that the majority of the affected residents all agree with those measures. But I think, I mean, to answer the question, I think as an initial step, I would suggest reaching out to the traffic safety team at trafficcalming@caledon.ca.
Okay, so the next question is from
Kate Hepworth.
Oh, there's one before that.
Oh, no, one before that
Oh,
from
sorry, I think there's two actually.
it's Sean. Wait. Okay, so they're asking what specific traffic calming measures are being proposed for Mayfield West assumed area? And how will the town evaluate whether they effectively reduce the speeding while maintaining safe access for residents, pedestrians, cyclists, and emergency vehicles? Especially for major roads like Tweed Hill and Pitch Avenue to ensure safety for pedestrians, kids, and seniors.
I'll let the team, for those specific roadways, I think I'll defer to the team to try to answer that. I know we've just issued a list of our 2026 traffic calming program. I don't know if the specific streets are on that list this year.
I guess the question from Shan, I think they are more concerned on the specific intersection at which is under front of the school. This is a part of the development application which is being under design. I don't have much information what's the stage of it, but we can get the information and then pass it to you if needed. And you can send us always an email to our trafficcalming@caledon.ca.
Next question. Yeah, next question is from Kate Hepworth. With the peel download of roads coming July 1st next year, how soon can residents start reaching out with suggestions for improvement on what are now regional roads?
Without having the region answer this question, I would suggest they should start reaching out now and try to have them implemented before even the transition happens. Maybe I'll defer to the region. I believe they are still taking requests, and I believe we are working closely with the region on a number of initiatives still to try to have things implemented and business as usual until that transition happens. Sean, did you want to did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, and good evening, everyone. Sean Nix from the region of Peel. So yes, we're still taking actively suggestions both from residents and from elected officials on regional roads. We recognize that there will be a point where we're going to kind of have to hand it off to the town to maybe carry things through. But for now, we are still working very aggressively on a number of requests that come in pretty much daily. And a lot of the work hasn't stopped. So we're still kind of working out through the transition process, sort of what a sort of drop dead date for kind of handing over inquiries to the town might take place. But in the meantime, we still are actively taking any inquiries and actioning whatever we can within the available resources that we have.
Yeah, and maybe to add to that, I think we continue to work in very close partnership with Sean and the traffic team. My team, we meet very regularly. We talk about collaborative measures, measures that maybe the region still needs to implement. And we're hoping that through transition with that cutoff date, those requests, if they're not fulfilled in time for transition, that they'll seamlessly transfer over for us to sort of help implement.
Okay. So next I have Mira Budd, who wants to ask questions. I'll request them mute them.
Hi, thank you for having this meeting. It's really helpful, and especially people that can't make it to the meetings. I want to thank Councillor Maskell, and I think also Councillor Dave Sheen was here earlier to thank him, as well as they're the two councillors. They're here. I know that Councillor Sheen had to go to another community safety meeting. My question is, and Councillor Maskell can probably help me with this. We had a meeting on Sunday with the region of Peel with respect to the closure of Airport Road. I've been emailing back and forth with the regional staff. There was 4 regional staff that were there at that meeting. It was mostly for businesses in downtown Caledon East because of the last minute 7-day notice of the full closure, which we never knew about before. And I've been emailing because at that meeting, the regional staff said that, I'm sure you all know about the pilot program, but for Airport Road, they told us that it will be a full 24/7 prohibition on Airport Road, not just the times that were listed. Mike and Bassam from the region just emailed me, and I guess he said, I will let what was his email? He said that he will let the department know to do the notice, because I was asking where's the notice before, it's announced. My question is with that, and I think you said that the OPP was here as well. We have one of the businesses that I spoke to, who's on Airport Road. I was talking to her about the meeting they had. She's like, every 30 seconds there was a truck coming, and it was at the time of the prohibition. It had already been on Monday that I was talking to her, which is way past July 1st. I just want to know about enforcement, and especially about the fact that there's going to be a full prohibition. I know that probably Council Maskell spoke to the OPP. Has the region spoken to the OPP? Is there something going to be done? Can somebody unmute Councillor Maskell? He would like to talk. He's waving.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Councillor Maskell. You're unmuted.
Thank you very much. Everybody hear me?
You have a big echo.
I think there's 2, so I'm gonna mute one of them.
Okay, hang on. You have 2 things on, so
2 profiles.
Yeah.
You're
Try
not being-
again.
Is this better?
No.
No.
Myra's mute.
Yeah, maybe mute Myra.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then try again.
How are we doing?
Can we try now?
No, actually Doug has to mute the speaker, I think, on his PC.
Yeah.
Tell him to mute the speaker on his PC and but not the microphone. Sorry.
Deb, can you mute the microphone
No,
on
speaker.
speaker? Can you mute your speaker on your computer, please?
But not the microphone.
But not the microphone.
Okay.
Or if you can get a headset.
Can we? Yes, out.
Can you try?
No,
speaking?
there is one version of it.
Can we
Councillor
try first?
Maskell, are you still with us?
No, he's logging in, I guess.
Oh, he looks frozen.
Is he in the waiting room?
He just.
He says joining.
Sorry, we're just working through the technical issues.
Maybe move on to another.
Yeah, question.
Yeah.
There was one, Amanda David.
Myra, can we come back to your question once we have Councillor Mascal? Awesome, thank you.
We can go move to the next question, I guess.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
So the next question is from Amanda David.
So the question is, I guess, does the petition take precedence over the email inquiry? I can tackle that one, is Amanda, it does not. But we do encourage we do require a petition for the larger implementation like speed humps and major physical traffic calming measure to be installed because it does require support from 66% of the affected residents. So, but it does not take a precedence over the email inquiry. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just to add to that, I would say, as I mentioned earlier, I think an initial inquiry or an email inquiry may still require a petition depending on the level of complexity. If it is a complex problem and you can already gather that petition ahead of time, certainly it helps move the process along rather than maybe engaging first and having the back and forth and then trying to pull together the petition. So it does help accelerate the process. Let's put it that way.
Just to go back to Myra's question, because I think it was for the OPP, to ask if there was going to be, Myra, you had asked about
Enforcement.
enforcement on Airport Road. And I'm just wondering if
We
we
have both Peel region as well. So maybe Sean, can you
Yeah, I can
elaborate a
unmute.
bit on the closures?
I'm gonna unmute.
Yeah.
Okay, confirming you can hear me.
Yes, we
Yep.
can.
Okay, so we've taken quite a bit of feedback probably in the last 48 hours, and particularly with feedback from OPP on Monday night with respect to some of the semantics of how our bylaw defines a heavy truck and what that means for enforcement activity. So first of all, with respect to the time of day versus full-time, actually, I'm going to combine the issues, the full-time or the time of day to the full-time, as well as providing the right wording in the traffic bylaw of the Region of Peel, such that OPP is not required to essentially weigh trucks on site. We are including terminology referred to as registered gross weight in our traffic bylaw, and this is something that we're requiring the collaboration with Councillors Early and Councillors Russo, who are hopefully going to be presenting a motion at our regional council tomorrow. So if this goes through, essentially the OPP would be equipped with a newly amended bylaw as of tomorrow at the end of regional council. Hopefully that can at least assist with the ability to enforce truck prohibitions along the corridors. With that, the amended bylaw will also change it so that it's not reflective of time of day. It will actually refer to it as a full-time truck prohibition along that corridor. So at least from our perspective, as far as the regulatory component of it, that's something that we're hoping will at least assist with the enforcement piece of it. We're still going to be monitoring pretty closely with respect to how the implications of the capital project are going to affect the traffic flow through the area, and we've also started engaging, or at least starting putting a plan together to have paid duty officers at some of the checkpoints where truck traffic is supposed to divert away from Airport Road and away from Old Church, in order to travel to the parallel routes of Highway 10 or Highway 50. We're also working on some enhanced signage to basically explicitly tell truckers you must use Highway 10. So a lot of this is going to roll out in the next few days or next few weeks. We recognize that we're not able to do all of it at once, but we're working as quickly as we can to kind of get all that deployed.
Sorry, I was asking in specific for Airport Road.
Yes.
Just Airport Road. So my understanding was there's going to be, you know, the pilot prohibition program, there's times from some, whatever, 6 to 9 and then 3 to 11, no trucks. But what we were told on the weekend, which has been confirmed by an email today, that there will be a full truck prohibition on Airport Road.
That's correct.
I think, okay. So you're saying that a bylaw has to be created, or
Yes.
my question? Oh, and then, but the OPP has nothing to do with that? Like if trucks were going through, they have nothing to do with that?
So we require bylaw framework to impose the prohibition. Right now, the
Okay.
bylaw only enforces time of day, right? So
Oh.
if this bylaw amendment passes tomorrow, it will convert it to full time.
Okay. Okay, so it's, okay.
Yeah. And the
Okay,
reason why
thank-
I bring up Old Church is because with Airport Road being fully restricted, Old Church Road is also left with no additional outlet for truck traffic. So essentially by default, Old Church Road has to be full-time truck prohibited as well.
Yes, sorry, I should have mentioned that as well. That's what they said as well. Thank you so much. Now, to follow up on the question with respect to Airport Road, there was something, and I don't know if Councilor Mascal is back, but there was something that, and thanks, I guess, to Councilor Russo and Councilor Early for bringing that motion to the region to get this all settled. Councilor Mascal had mentioned, you know, if they knew about this whole full closure, because originally for 4 years we thought that, you know, there was going to be a lane open, and within 7 days we found out the full closure. Councilor Mascal had mentioned something that they're going to expedite the speed humps on Cranston and Jean Street, because they might end up using it as a through traffic, not that it's closed. Is there somebody from, I guess, from traffic that can elaborate on that, or if that's gonna happen?
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, you're echoing, but go ahead, we'll deal with it.
Cranston.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor, we can hear you.
Cranston.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's happening here with this. So I'm going to turn it over to Dan on this, because we've had a long discussion on this over the past couple of days about expediting the process, and we do know that the region and the contractor are working to expedite the traffic calming on Cranston, on Jean Street, and on Walker Road West. And I've also asked for additional traffic calming on Walker Road East, where we have our 2 senior homes, and we don't want traffic diverting through there. So I'll pass it over to Dan to explain a little bit more. But the fact is, because we didn't really know when this was coming, you know, the speed humps and all the traffic calming were really intended to be in place prior to the beginning of the school year and working them in over the summer. And now everything is being pushed within a very, very narrow window. So I believe that Dan and our staff are working with the region, and we're anticipating that the region now is going to be putting in these works and then paying for them also. So I'll turn it back to Dan.
Sorry, to add to what Councillor Mascal was saying, my understanding is that the region will be advancing traffic calming measures that we had planned for that for the community. And that includes, I believe, speed humps on Cranston, on Jean Street, and on Walker Street, as well as I think on both sides of Walker East. Walker Road. Yes. So, Mira, does that answer your question, or was there more to it?
Just a moment.
Sorry, I just kind of wanted to know when all of this is gonna happen, and obviously I understand, again, it's.
Oh, she's muted again.
Oh, and also Sean was raised just now. So maybe Sean wants to elaborate.
Yeah.
Sean, you
Oh.
can,
So anyway, maybe I'll add, so our request has been that these measures are installed ASAP. We're hoping that would be done prior to the start of the start of the closures and construction. I'm not sure if they'll be able to go in that quickly, but maybe I'll turn it over to Sean. He has his hand up. Maybe he can sort of elaborate a little bit more on the timing.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really give a firm timeline. Essentially, the direction that we've given the contractor for the portions that we're going to be advancing is as quickly as possible. It's not the full plan, but it is a rolling start to basically get in as much of the traffic calming that we'd agreed to advance on behalf of the town as quickly as possible, just to ensure that an inadvertent detour is not utilized. We definitely want people to prioritize going east along Old Church and then down Innes Lake, as opposed to going west on Walker and then over to Mountain View, recognizing that the roads are more suitable for detour traffic accordingly. So.
So, and maybe what I should add to that too is again, all of this will be augmented with signage, detouring signage, clear signage. We'll be working with the region to finalize those signage plans and make adjustments as required to make sure that any motorists that are not local to that community are avoided.